Namaskaraha. Hope I am audible. Vandetam madavaranendravadanam madbhagatheya kritim shundadandasuchalanena jagatam mayantarayamayan vidravya pranati prasanna hridayo yonuktayeva swayam rakshatyanvahamatmanoti virudam vaidyesha putrabhidham. Start with recap. अथा न केवलं सेवका इत्थं भूताः यावत् समस्तमप्येतत् जगत् परस्परं भक्षणार्थं सामादिभिरुपायैः तिष्ठति. It is not just that the sevakas leave the king when they are not fed properly, when their survival is in question, but this entire universe is engaged in such a struggle for survival. देशानाम उपरिक्ष्मापा आदुराणां चिकित्सकाः वणिजो ग्राहकाणां च मूर्खाणां पंडिताः प्रमादिनां तथा चौरा भिक्षुका गृहमेधिनां गणिकाः कामिनां चैव सर्वलोकस्य शिल्पिनः सामादि सज्जितैः पाशैः प्रतीक्षन्ते दिवानिशम्. एते सर्वेपि के चौराः भिक्षुकाः गणिकाः शिल्पिनः क्ष्मापाः चिकित्सकाः ग्राहकाः वणिजः पंडिताः एते सर्वेपि सामादि सज्जितैः पाशैः दिवानिशं प्रतीक्षन्ते. So they are looking out for those mentioned previously, day and night. Upajivanti shakyahi jalaja jalajani. So the way a bigger fish feeds on a smaller fish, these people are looking out for powerless people to exploit. अथवा साध्विदम उच्यते सर्पाणांच खलानांच परद्रव्यापहारिणाम अभिप्राया न सिद्ध्यन्ति तेनेदं वर्तते जगत्. And it is because, thank God, that the intentions of these wicked people does not always succeed. And thanks to that, this world is still going on. It is existing just fine. अत्तुं वाञ्छति शम्भवो गणपतेराख्युं क्षुधार्तः फणीतं च क्रौञ्चरिको शिखीगिरिसुता सिंहोऽपि नागाशनम् इत्थं यत्र परिग्रहस्य घटना शम्भोरपि स्यात् गृहे तत्रान्यस्य कथं न भावि जगतो यस्मात् स्वरूपं हि तत्. So this is the case in the very abode of Lord Shiva. Even in the house of Shiva, this is happening. Shambhorapi grihe yasha eva sthitihi shambhavaha phani. So the snake that adorns the neck of Lord Shiva, kshudharta san, kshudhaya piditaha san, out of hunger. Ganapatehe akhum attum vanchati, it wants to feed on Ganapati's mushaka, evameva krauncharikoho shikhi phaninam attum vanchati. So the peacock of Lord Muruga wants to feed on the snake and Girisutayaha simhaha. So the vehicle of Ma Parvati wants to feed on the peacock, and this is the situation of parigraha, of one eating the other, grabbing the other in the very house of Lord Shiva. So how can you say that this is not going to be the case elsewhere? Jagataha swarupam hi tat. So this is the very nature of things here. So Tata Swami Prasada Rahitau Chutshama Kantau Parasparam Karataka Damanako Mantrayete Tatra Damanako Brute Arya Karataka Avam Tavad Apradhanatam Gatu. So now we are back to our old position. Both of us have become apradhanas. Esha Pingalaka Sanjeevakan Raktaswa Vyapara Parangmukha Sanjataha. So this Pingalaka has become indifferent to his own duty. Sarvopi Parijanaha Gataha. All the assistants have gone. All the Parijanas, all the other Mrigas that were there with us have left. Kim kriyate karatakaha yadyapi tvadiya vachanam nakaroti tathapi Swami swadoshanashaya vachyaha. So even though we know for sure that Swami is not going to listen to you, in order to avoid future blame, he has to be spoken to. Ashrinvannapi bodhavyo mantribhih prithivipatihi yatha swadoshanashaya vidurena sutaha. Yatha purvam ambika sutaha dhritarashtraha vidurena bodhitaha. So the way Dhritarashtra was reminded of his duties by Vidura, knowing very well that he is not going to pay, knowing very well that he is not going to implement one single word of Vidura. Ashranvannapi, even when he was not listening. Mantribihi, Ashranvannapi, Ambikasutaha, Bodhitaha, Evameva, Prithivipatihi, Mantribihi, Bodhavyaha. So the Prithivipati, the king, is to be made aware of his own duties by the minister. By the ministers. Madonmattasya bhupasya kunjarasya cha gacchataha unmargam vachatam yanti mahamatra samipagaha. So when an elephant and a king go astray and they are intoxicated with mada and they don't know the right path, in such a situation, mahamatraha samipagaha. So the ones that are near the king and the elephant, the mahamatras, the elephant drivers and the amatyas and the ministers are blamed. Tatvaisha shashpabhoji swaminasya kashamanitaha tatsvahastena prashitaha. And it is you who brought this shashpabhoji near our Swami. You have created the nuisance by yourself. Swahastena, by your own hands, you have got your hands burnt by touching angara, charatu. Tamanaka aha satyametat mamayam doshaha na swamina. It is indeed my fault and not Swami's. Vai jambuko hudayuthena vayam chashadhabhutina-dutika parakaryena trayo dosha swayam kritaha. Jambuka, because of Hudayuddha, because of the fight between two male sheeps, and vayam chashadhabhutina, and us, or here it is just bahuvachana. But I, because of Ashadhabhuti, and Dutika, because of getting involved in Parakarya, all these three were self-inflicted disasters. Yeah, nobody else can be blamed here. Parataka kathametat, how is it? He does not even know who is saying the verse. Whose verse is it? We do not know. So now we started looking at Ashadhabhuti-jambuka-duti-katha. अस्ति कस्मिंश्चित् विविक्तप्रदेशे मठायतनं तत्र देवशर्मा नाम परिव्राजकः प्रतिवसति स्म तस्य अनेक साधुजनदत्त सूक्ष्मवस्त्रविक्रयवशात् कालेन महती वित्तमात्रा सञ्जाता ततः सः न कस्यचित् विश्वसिति नक्तं दिवं कक्षान्तरात् तां मात्रां न मुञ्चति अथवा साध्विरमुच्यते. So there is, in a secluded place, there is a matha and there is a parivrajaka living there, sannyasi called Devasharma. Tasya aneka sadhujana datta sukshma vastra vikraya vasha. And because of selling fine garments that were donated to him by many sadhujanas, by many people who came and visited this sannyasi, kalena, gradually, over time, mahati vittamatra sanjata. So he accumulated a lot of wealth. Tataha sa nakasyachit vishwasiti. And then he did not trust anyone. Aktam divam kakshantarat tam matram namunchati. So he never let go of the bundle. He always held it tightly under his armpit. Athava sadhvidam uchyate. Parthanam arjane dukkham arjitanam cha rakshane aye dukkham yaye dukkham digartha kashtasamshrayaha. There is dukkha involved in the accumulation of money, and then in protecting what is accumulated. Even when one gets money, when there is a profit, when there is a labha, there is dukkha, and when there is an expenditure, there is dukkha. So they seem to be the refuge of all the kashta and dukkha in this world. So shame on them. So why at all spend time and accumulate? Ashadhabhutirnama paravittapahari dhurtastam arthamatraam tasya kakshantaragatam lakshayitva vyachintayat katham mayasyayam arthamatra hartavya. Ashadhabhutihi nama paravitta apahari dhurtaha tam arthamatram tasya kaksha antara gatam lakshayitva vyachintayat katham maya asya iyam arthamatra hartavya iti. So Ashadhabhuti. So there was this thief called Ashadhabhuti. So he survived by taking others' money, stealing others' money. Paravitta apahari asit saha Ashadhabhuti. So Ashadhabhuti, his very job was paravitta apaharana, stealing others' money. Saha dhurtaha. So he was a wicked fellow. Saha dhurtaha tam arthamatram tasya kaksha antaragatam lakshayitva. Once he saw this arthamatra, this bundle of money that was under the armpit of this parivrajaka Devasharma. Devasharmanaha kakshantaragatam arthamatram lakshayitva. He had his eyes on that. And seeing that, he thought, Vyachintayat katham maya asya iyam arthamatra hartavya. So how iyam arthamatra, yesha arthamatra. So this bundle of money that he has, katham maya hartavya. How can I steal it? How should I steal it? What can I do for that? Evam saha achintayat. Tadatra mathe tavad dridha shila sanchaya vashat bhittibhedo nasti. Uchaistaratvacha advarena praveshopi nasti. Tadenam mayavachanair vishwasya Chhatratam vrajami yena sa vishwastah kadachit vishwasameti. Uttancha. Tat atra mathe tavat dridha shila sanchaya vashat bhitti bhedaha na asti. Uchaistaratvat cha advarena praveshaha api nasti. Tat yenam Maya vachanaihi vishwasya chhatratam vrajami yena saha vishwastaha kadachit vishwasam yeti. So he says atra mathe, in this matha dridha shila sanchaya vashat. Dridha shila sanchaya. So it is sanchaya means an aggregation. So dridha shila sanchaya. So it is so the monastery, it is built because of the aggregation of very hard stones. Okay. There is too much of solid aggregation, so that you cannot think of making a hole in the wall. Okay. So bhitti bhedaha nasti. There is no scope for doing a bhitti bheda. You cannot drill a hole on the wall because it is made up of dridha shila sanchaya vashat. Bhitti bhedasya avakashaha nasti. There can be no bhitti bheda done as far as this matha is concerned. So that is ruled out. Uchaistaratvacha advarena praveshopi nasti, and it is built on quite a it stands on a very high altitude. It is not built at the ground level at all, so that it is quite high. So uchaistaratvat advarena praveshaha nasti. So there is no possibility of entry. Okay. There is just the door of the monastery. You have to enter properly through the door only. So without that, there is no other scope for entry. Tadenam maya vachanaihi vishwasya tasmat. Because of that, I have no option but to make him trust me. Yenam points to Devasharma. So yenam Devasharmanam. Yenam sanyasinam. So maya vachanihi vishwasya. So through maya vachana, through deceitful words, having earned his trust, vishwasya chhatratam vrajami. So I will become his student. Chhatratam vrajami yena saha vishwastaha kadachit vishwasameti. So Chhatratam vrajami, I shall go under his tutelage, and because of that, so so convinced, yena saha vishwastaha bhavishyati. So maybe he will become convinced with me, kadachit vishwasam. And sometimes maybe in future, at some time, he can trust me. And I will earn his trust. And then maybe he will leave his Vitta Matra with me and I can grab it and run away. So this is the plan of Ashadhabhuti. Uttancha. Nispruho nadhikari syan nakami mandana priyaha navidagdhav priyam bruyat sputavaktana vanchakaha. Nispruho nadhikari syan nakami mandana priyaha navidagdhav priyam bruyat sputavaktana vanchakaha. Nispruhaha na adhikari syat na akami mandana priyaha na avidagdhaha priyam bruyat sputavakta na vanchakaha. Nispruhaha na adhikari syat. So nispruhaha adhikari nasyat. Akami mandana priyaha nasyat. Avidagdhaha priyam nabruyat sputavakta vanchakaha nasyat. So nispruhaha adhikari nasyat. So a person who has no spruha, no desire for anything, can never be an adhikari of something. Can never. So an adhikari by definition is a person who has a desire to grab something, to accumulate something, to earn more. Some kind of a desire is always there. That is why he is holding on to his authoritarian post and hoping to grow his influence and do something. It can never be that he is desireless. Evameva akami mandana priyaha nasya. So the one who does not have kama at all, the one who has won over kama, here you can take it as lust. So saha mandana priyaha nasya. So he or she will never be interested in decorating one's own body. Mandana refers to bhushana. Bhushana priyaha nasya. So he will not be interested in, he or she will not be interested in decorating, ornamenting oneself. Avidagdhaha priyam nabruyat. So avidagdhaha, vidagdhaha is a panditaha. Avidagdhaha, murkhaha, priyam nabruyat. So a foolish man will never speak sweetly. And sputavakta vanchakaha nasyat. And somebody who is straightforward will not be a vanchaka. Okay? Will not deceive you, will not be a deceitful person. So a deceitful person can never speak straight. Avidagdhaha priyam nabruyat. Akami, someone who has won over lust will never be a lover of jewelry and ornamenting himself. Evameva adhikari nispruhaha nasya. So an adhikari will never be someone without desire. So for us, in the context, what is important out of the four? Sputavakta vanchakaha nasya. So somebody who is straightforward can never be a vanchaka. So I want to deceive and at the first opportunity, I want to rob the money of this man. So I cannot be a sputavakta. So I have to resort to maya vachaka. Sputavakta vanchakaha nasya. Evam nischitya tasyantikam upagamya om namah shivaya iti procharya sashtangam pranamya cha saprashrayam uvacha bhagavan asaras samsaroyam girinadi vegopamam yauvanam trinagnisamam jeevitam sharadabhrachaya sadrisha bhogas swapna sadrisho mitraputra kalatra bhritya varga sambandha. Evam nischitya tasya antikam upagamya om namah shivaya iti procharya sashtangam pranamya cha saprashrayam uvacha bhagavan asaraha samsaraha ayam giri nadi vega upamam yauvanam. Trina agni samam jeevitam. Sharat abhra chaya sadrishaha bhogaha swapna sadrishaha mitra putra kalatra bhritya varga sambandha. Evam nishchitya. So having decided this, tasya antikam upagamya. So approaching him, going close to him. Om Namah Shivaya iti procharya. So chanting Om Namah Shivaya very loudly, sashtangam pranamya. He fell at his feet and did a dandavat namaskara. Saprashrayam uvacha and spoke humbly. Bhagavan asaraha samsaraha. Oh, this samsara is asara. It has got no essence. There is nothing in this to be enjoyed. And Giri Nadi Vegopamam Yauvan. So how is Yauvana? So Yauvana goes away like this. It is so swift, like a Giri Nadi. So like a Nadi that flows in the mountainous region. Okay. So the flow is like that. She comes down with a huge force and she crosses the area very quickly, very swiftly. Evameva yauvanam api bhavati. Irinadi vegopamam bhavati yauvanam. Trina agnisam jeevitam. So life is like, fire, okay, lit on trina, okay, gets burnt like this, right? So when you try to burn a dry straw, burns it immediately. Okay? So evameva life asti. Evameva jeevitam asti. Sharadabhra chaya sadrishaha bhoga. And how are all the enjoyments that are available here for us to enjoy? They are also very, very, very fleeting. Sharadabhra chaya sadrishaha. So it is like the shadows of Sharatkalina Abhara. Okay, Sharat refers to the season of autumn. So when we usually celebrate Sharad Navaratri, so that is the season that comes immediately after Varsha Ritu. So after Varsha Ritu, we have Sharad Ritu when the clouds have receded and the sky is very clear, right? So autumnal clouds, so they are very rare. Usually in the autumn, the sky is very, very clear. So bhogaha are like the shadows of autumnal clouds. That means what? They are again very fleeting. Atyanta chanchala. Swapna sadrishaha mitra putra kalatra bhritya varga sambandha. So the relationship that we enjoy between mitra, putra, our friends, our children, wife, and then with the bhritya varga, with the sevaka varga, parijana varga, all that is fleeting. This as though like a relationship in dream. Okay. It's like all this is happening in a dream and it is not at all for real. He's talking all this Vedanta to this Parivrajaka and trying to impress him. Evam maya samyak parignatam tat kim kurvato me samsara samudrottaranam bhavishyati tat shutva deva sharma sadara mahavatsa dhanyosi yat prathame vayasyevam virakti bhava. Evam maya samyak parignatam. Evam, in this manner, I have understood all these things very clearly. What Ashadhabhuti says. Kim kurvato me samsara samudra uttaranam bhavishyati. So how can I be saved from this samsara samudra? So how can I cross this ocean of samsara? By doing what can I cross over this ocean of samsara? Kim kurvataha mama samsara samudra uttaranam. My crossing over of samsara, kim kurvataha bhavishyati. So by doing what can I accomplish that? That's true. So hearing that, Deva Sharma Sadharama. Deva Sharma is now impressed. So he also replies with respect. What's up? Son, you are blessed. Why? Prathame vayasi evam virakti bhavaha. That you have this kind of a vairagya, this kind of a virakti bhava in the prathama vayaha. Prathama vayaha refers to yauvana. So in the youth, in the first stage of youth itself, you have this much of vairagya I appreciate it very much. Uttanja. And why do I appreciate this vairagya in prathama vayaha? Because urve vayasi yashantaha sashanta iti me matihi dhatushu kshiyamaneshu shamah kasya na jayate. Urve vayasi yashantas sashanta iti me matihi dhatushu kshiyamaneshu shamah kasya na jayate. Urve vayasi yaha shantaha saha shantaha iti me matihi dhatushu kshiyamaneshu shamaha kasya na jayate. Very straightforward verse. So Deva Sharma says, me matihi, mama matihi, my opinion is this. What? Yaha urve vayasi shantaha. So the one who is Shanta, who has achieved quietude of the mind, Shamaha, the one who has achieved Shama, tranquility of mind, peace, the one who has attained peace in his youth, Saha Vastavika Rupena Shantaha. He is the one who has really attained tranquility of mind, and only he is to be appreciated by Kshiyamaneshu Dhadushu Shamaha Kasya na jayate. When the bodily fluids, a dhatu can refer to the vital fluids flowing in the body, or dhatu can also refers to indriyas. Kshiyamaneshu indriyeshu satsu. So when the indriyas are kshiyamana means when they are getting exhausted and they have had enough and they have enjoyed enough and now they don't have the capacity to enjoy anymore. Evam rupena indriyeshu satsu shamaha kasya na jayate. So who does not get shama? Shama is imposed on such a person. He does not have any other option but to accept his situation. He is forced by nature. Saha shantaha iti kathayitum na shakyate. He cannot be praised or appreciated as a shanta because that is forced upon. Kshiyamaneshu dhatu sarvasya jayate shama. Everybody becomes tranquil and everybody is at peace because they don't have any choice. Adau chitte tatah kaye satam sampadhyate jara asatam tu punah kaye naiva chitte kadachana. Adau chitte tatah kaye satam sampadhyate jara asatam tu punah kaye naiva chitte kadachana. Adau chitte tatah kaye satam sampadhyate jara asatam tu punaha kaye na eva chitte kadachana. Satam jara adau chitte tataha kaye sampadhyate. Jara is old age. Right? So in the case of good people, in the case of a righteous person, satam sajjananam jara adau chitte sampadhyate. So old age, or here you can take old age to be understood as maturity. So maturity first comes in the mind of a fine person, of a good person, and then the body gets older. Tataha kaye tadanantaram sharire sampadhyate. Asatam, but in case of bad people or immature people, punaha kaye eva sampadhyate chitte na kadachana. So they become old, only their sharira gets older, but the mind is ever young and it is still hopping from one thing to another and it has not settled at all. So maturity has not at all come. But for good people, for virtuous people, what happens? It first sets in the mind and then the body gets older. Satam jara adau chitte tataha kaye sampadhyate asatam asajjananam durjananam tu punaha kaye eva sampadhyate, and that is forced by nature. Chitte na kadachana bhavati. यन्मां संसार सागरोत्तरणोपायं पृच्छसि तच्छ्रूयताम् शूद्रो वा यदि वान्योऽपि चाण्डालोऽपि जटाधरः दीक्षितः शिवमन्त्रेण स भस्माङ्गी शिवो भवेत् शूद्रो वा यदि वान्योऽपि चाण्डालोऽपि जटाधरः दीक्षितः शिवमन्त्रेण स भस्माङ्गी शिवो भवेत् यत् मां संसार सागर उत्तरण उपायं पृच्छसि संसार सागर उत्तरण उपायं पृच्छसि and you are inquiring the upaya, the method for escaping this samsara sagara, crossing over this ocean of samsara. Listen to it. I will tell you the upaya. Shudraha va yadi va anyaha api chandalaha api jatadharaha dikshitaha shivamantrena saha bhasma angi shivaha bhavet. What is the upaya? What is the upaya to be released from this samsara sagara? Yadi shudraha va anyaha api va chandalaha api. So a person, whether he be a shudra or someone else or even a chandala, yaha shivamantrena dikshitaha jatadharaha bhasmangi syat. So the one who becomes initiated with the mantra of Lord Shiva, shivamantrena dikshitaha and jatadharaha, and wearing a jata and bhasmangi, and by smearing ashes all over the body, having been initiated into Shiva mantra, and then sporting a jata and then smearing bhasma all over the body. Yaha evam karoti, yaha evam syat, saha shivaha bhavet. He becomes Shiva himself. So that is the way to be relieved from this samsara. Shadaksharena mantrena pushpamekamapi swayam lingasya murdhniyo dadyan nasabhuyo bhijayate. Shadaksharena mantrena pushpamekamapi swayam lingasya murdhniyo dadyan nasabhuyo bhijayate. Shat aksharena mantrena pushpam ekam api swayam lingasya murdhni yaha dadyat saha bhuyaha dadyat na saha bhuyaha abhijayate. Yaha shadaksharena mantrena ekam api pushpam swayam lingasya murdhni dadyat. Yaha lingasya murdhni dadyat. So the one who offers by himself swayam lingasya murdhni. So on the head of a linga, on the top of a linga, the one who offers ekam api pushpam, even one flower. Okay, yaha ekam api pushpam swayam lingasya murdhni dadyat. Shadaksharena mantrena. So uttering this 6-syllable mantra, which is Om Namah Shivaya. Okay, so uttering this 6-syllabled mantra Om Namah Shivaya, and the one who offers even one flower to a linga, saha bhuyaha na abhijayate. He is not born again. Saha bhuyaha, again na abhijayate, is not born. Tachrutva Ashadhabhuti-jambuka-duti-katha gृहीत्वा saprashrayamidamaha bhagavan tarhi dikshayame anugraham. Devasharma aha vatsa anugraham te karishyami parantu ratra udvaya mathamadhye na praveshtavyam yat karanam nissangata yatinam prashasyate tavacha mamapicha uktancha. Tat shrutva Ashadhabhutihi tat padau grihitva saprashrayam idam aha bhagavan tarhi dikshaya me anugraham kuru. Devasharma aha Vatsa, anugraham te karishyami. Parantu ratrau tvaya mathamadhye na praveshtavyam. Yat karanam nissangata yatinam prashasyate. Tavacha mama apicha uttacha. So, having heard this, Ashadhabhuti, this Dhurta, tat padau grihitva. He clasped the feet of this Parivrajaka Deva Sharma and spoke humbly, Bhagavan, O Deva, tarhi dikshaya me anugrah. So please give me diksha. Please give me Shiva mantra diksha. Deva Sharma says, Vatsa anugraham te karishyami. Oh, happily I will do. But then I have one condition. Parantu ratrau tvaya mathamadhye na pravesh. You should not enter the matha during the night. That is the only condition. Why? Yat karanam nissangata yatinam prashasyate. So for yatis, okay, what is praised? Prashasyate. So nissangata prashasyate. Nissangata is recommended, is advised, is extolled for yatis. Nissangata means non-attachment. Okay? So non-attachment, any kind of attachment to anything, matha, people. So it's better that we don't stay together. We should stay separate and practice nissangata. Tavacha, amapicha. It's the same for you and me. Because we are both yatis, this is advised. So you should not enter the matha at night. Uttacha. Wonderful verse. Durmantran nripatir vinashyati yati sangat suto lalanat vipronadhyayanat kulam kutanayat shilam khalo pasanat maitri cha pranayat samriddhiranayat snehah pravasashrayat stri garvadana vekshanadapi krishistyagat pramadat dhanam. Durmantran nripatir vinashyati yati sangat suto lalanat vipronadhyayanat kulam kutanayat shilam khalo pasanat maitri cha pranayat samriddhiranayat snehah pravasashrayat stri garvadana vekshanadapi krishistyagat pramadat dhanam. Durmantrat nripatihi vinashyati yatihi sangat sutaha lalanat vipraha anadhyayanat kulam utanayat shilam khala upasanat maitri cha apranayat samriddhihi anayat snehaha pravasa ashrayat stri garvat anavekshanat api krishihi tyagat pramadat dhanam. So kasmat kim vinashyati. So what is the reason for the destruction of many things? So the context here is to talk about yati being destroyed by sangha, but prasangat, there are other things that also come up, and it's nicely summarized in one verse. This verse is also found in the Niti Shataka of Mitrabheda. Many of the verses, as I said, Uttancha, wherever it comes, Vishnu Sharma himself or the compiler of Panchatantra has taken the verses from many sources. So this verse is found in the Niti Shataka of Bhartrihari. Yatihi sangat vinashyati. So an ascetic is destroyed by sangha. So sangha should be avoided at all costs. For everybody, this is the same, but vishishya yatinam sangha nissangata prashasyate. Especially for a sannyasi, it is mandated, it is recommended that he avoid sangha at all costs. So, what is the reason for the ruin of a king? Durmantrat nripatihi vinashyati. So, inappropriate mantrana, due to inappropriate policy advice, a wrong policy decision will destroy a king. So he has to ensure that he has the right counselors around him. A wrong counsel will destroy him. Durmantrat nripatihi vinashyati yatihi sangat vinashyati. Sutaha lalanat vinashyati. So a child, okay, a child is ruined by excessive lalana. So a child gets ruined due to pampering. Pampering is not the that is the traditional. Sutaha lalanat vinashyati. There is no second thought about this. Vipraha anadhyayanat vinashyati. So a vipra, a brahmana gets destroyed because of anadhyayana. He does not pursue the study of Vedas. Okay. And here a vipra, if you take vipra to be a scholar, okay. So a person who focuses on learning and a person who focuses on knowledge, he has to continuously engage in the pursuit of knowledge. So studying and teaching should be his jivana. So when he stops that, when his adhyayana stops, saha vinashyati, he gets destroyed, he gets ruined. Kulam hutanayat vinashyati. So a very, very, very good clan with a very beautiful parampara that has sustained for a very long time can get destroyed due to one hutanaya, because of one son who does not stand up to the kula, who does not stand up to the expectations that are set by the kula, who does not meet the standards of the kula, and who goes astray. Because of one such son, a great kula can vanish in no time. Sheelam khala upasanati vinashyati. And character, sheela, gets destroyed due to the company of durjanas. So when it is very, very rare that a person can take care and protect his own sheela despite the company of durjana. It is very rare. It is something that is achieved by great people. For ordinary people, it is recommended that you avoid bad company at all times, because that will definitely change the character of the person. Maitri apranayat vinashyati. So friendship. So friendship is ruined when there is no pranaya, then there is no love. When the love goes away, when the affection vanishes, there is no more friendship. Samriddhihi anayat. Samriddhi, prosperity, lot of wealth that is available, it gets ruined because of anaya. Anaya means what? Spending away in wrong ways due to mismanagement. Funds get destroyed due to mismanagement, bad conduct in spending it in wrong ways. Anayatu samriddhihi vinashyati. Snehaha pravasa ashrayatu vinashyati. Again, very important. Snehaha, love, affection fades away because of dwelling abroad. It's very important that in order for sneha to continue, for sneha to grow, it is important that two people or a family stays together. So when there is a separation, when one goes abroad, okay, goes to a distant land, then sneha naturally fades. It is very, very difficult to sustain sneha in such a scenario. Stri garvatu vinashyati. So a woman perishes because of garva. Because of garva in what? Garva in beauty. That is to be understood. If she is going to feel too much pride because of her external appearance, external beauty, she perishes. That is not good for her. Anavekshanati krishihi vinashyati. Krishihi is agriculture. Right? So farming, agriculture, that gets ruined when there is no person to look after it continuously. So one has to always look out for it and take care of it continuously. So regular supervision is required in order to get good yields from a land. So it is the duty of a farmer to take care of the land and be by the side of the land all the time. So when unsupervised krishihi nashyati, dhanam tyagaat pramadat nashyati. So and wealth, money gets destroyed because of pramadat tyagat. So you can take so pramadat as a visheshana for tyaga, and tyaga here can be an expenditure. So one can say due to careless expenditure, money gets wasted. Or you can take tyaga separately due to charity and carelessness. Just giving, and the person is not making money, just giving away whatever is there. That ultimately leads to poverty. Tyagad, pramadad, dhanam vinashyati. So here for us, yatihi sangad. That is why Deva Sharma brings this verse. But prasangad, we can learn about other things also. तत्वया व्रतग्रहणानन्तरं मठद्वारे तृणकुटीरके शयितव्यम् इति स आह भगवन् भवदादेशः प्रमाणं परत्रहितेन मे प्रयोजनम् तत् त्वया व्रतग्रहण अनन्तरं मठद्वारे तृणकुटीरके शयितव्यम् स आह भगवन् भवत् आदेशः प्रमाणम् paratrahi tena me prayojana. So vratagrahana anantaram. So after your initiation, after you taking up the vrata, mathadware trinakutirake shaitavim. So there is a trinakutiraka, there is a cottage at the entrance of the matha. You have to sleep there. Trinakutirake shaitavyam sa aha. He says, Bhagavan, oh Lord, bhavadadesha pramanam. So your adesha is everything for me. That is the pramana for me. Why paratrahi tena me prayojanam tena bhavad adesha palanena mama paratra prayojanam bhavati. So I will have use for it in the other world. Okay. So the other world happiness of mine is being secured by your adesha. So I will follow it. Paratra tena me prayojanam. Atra prayojanam na bhavati, parantu paratra nishchaya rupena bhavishyati. There need not be a earthly benefit for it, but definitely there is another worldly benefit. So I am going to take up your adesha and follow it. Atha krita shayana samayam deva sharmanugraham kritva shastrokta vidhina shishyatam anayat sopi हस्तपादावमर्दनादि परिचर्यया तं परितोषम अनयत पुनः तथापि मुनिः कक्षान्तरात् मात्रां न मुञ्चति अथ कृतशयन समयं देवशर्मा अनुग्रहं कृत्वा शास्त्रोक्तविधिना शिष्यताम् अनयत सः अपि हस्तपाद अवमर्दन आदि परिचर्यया तं परितोषम अनयत पुनः तथापि मुनिः कक्षान्तरात् मात्रां न मुञ्चति अथ कृतशयन समयं देवशर्मा अनुग्रहं then so saha idanim कृतशयन समयः अभवत् सः कः आषाढभूतिः. So Ashadhabhuti has now decided upon his Shayana Samaya. Okay? He has chosen his Shayana Samaya. Okay? He has decided that he will sleep at night only in the passage, in the cottage outside the monastery. He has agreed to it. Deva Sharma Anugraham Kritva. So after having graced him, Shastrokta Vidhina Shishyatam Anayat. So according to proper Shastra Vidhis, he took him under his tutelage. Shishyatam Anayat. So he brought him under his tutelage. Saha Ashadhabhuti Hastapada Avamardana Adi Parichariyaya Patam Paritosham Anayat. So he brought happiness to him. How? By doing various paricharya, various kinds of service, by offering various kinds of services like hastapada avamardana, like massaging his feet and hands now and then, and many other services he offered to him, and he made him very happy. Very happy. Tam paritosham anayat. Punaha tathapi munihi kakshantarat matram namuchati. Even then, Muni, this Parivrajaka Deva Sharma, never let go of the bundle from his armpit. He always put it under, let it stay under his kaksha only. He never let go of it. I think we can stop here for today. I'll take if there are any questions. If there are any, I should take them. We can continue in the next class. Yes.
Bhagini, namaskara.
Namaskara.
What is the literal meaning of Ashadhabhuti?
What is the literal meaning of Ashadhabhuti? Bhuti refers to sampatti, okay, wealth, okay. So Ashadhabhuti, Ashadha refers to a month. Other than that, I don't know what to make of it. Maybe I will think of it later. Ashadhabhuti. I don't know if it has got reference to something else. I'm not able to think of it at the moment. Will be in the next class. Yes.
Namaste. I missed classes and I was searching for a English book translation to refresh my lost classes, and I found a very funny one. Oh, it's a translation since 1956, and I've seen that he gives very strange names. Like this story is called Godly and June. Where is the June coming from?
Okay. I'm not sure what translation you're referring to. Can you please let me know the name of the author?
Arthur Ryder.
Oh, Arthur Ryder's translation is the most famous translation.
Really?
It's a very good translation. Yeah, it is a good translation. And yeah, what does he call the story as? How does he translate?
Godly and June.
Godly and June, is it?
Yes.
So I think he has somehow translated Ashadhabhuti into June, because Ashadha is that month, okay? So around June, okay? So I think that is why he has translated Ashadhabhuti as June.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so
I've seen some other strange names also, so maybe he translated by the book or something.
Yeah. So that is why I think, because Ashadha is it comes around from June 15th to July 15th. Usually is the month of Ashadha.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. So questions we can miss here. We can continue in the next class. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.